Today on Endures, I invite you to think, are you solving a problem that doesn't actually exist? So I'm Suzanne Rath, and this is Endures for your daily dose of endurance, leadership and life lessons. I recently did an AI course. Now, I've been on a number of different AI workshops and different things. Something which I can recommend actually for women who want to discover more about AI is this fantastic program called 1,000 Women in AI by Emma Fairley, which basically steps you piece by piece through all of the governance structures, through the prompting, and it's free. So that is amazing. But if you've listened to the podcast for a period of time, you will know that my thoughts on AI are that is an excellent tool, and I think it will be used really well by early adopters, by solopreneurs. So in my coaching business, I am a solopreneur, and so I have to use AI to do certain things, or I don't have to, but it certainly speeds me up with things I can do. So I've done things like build a dashboard for my clinical business. I use it to create spreadsheets. I use it to give me ideas. I don't use it to write my content because I don't believe in that. But certainly in terms of organizing, disseminating information, I think it's amazing. But when I was in this course recently, and it was specifically for owners of businesses with teams, I found myself getting really overwhelmed about all of these things that I hadn't automated, and all of these things I was suddenly adding to my to-do list until I pulled myself back and I thought about three things. So one, and these relate to my core outcomes, right? So one is focus. These things that I was suddenly getting really worried about automating, like, how do I set up my AI brain that then feeds into this, that then, pushes content from this blog through to my team for them to approve it, for them to do this, and then it posts to social media automatically, all of that kind of stuff. I was getting really caught up on that. That is not even part of my goals. It does not align with our current quarterly focus. It doesn't align with our financial year focus. It's not even something I particularly want to do. And so this was becoming this huge distraction from what my actual goals are for the year, what the actual goals for the business are this year, what my personal goals for the business are and for my life this year, and adding this other thing to my to-do list that actually really wasn't going to drive us forwards anymore, and to be honest, was just going to end up annoying my team. The second thing is around momentum. Now, we can have momentum in a million different directions and we can feel completely frazzled. And this is what I find myself doing when I go to some of these AI courses, or working with business coaches, or doing different things, being in rooms where people are shoulding all over you. Now, in your business, there's going to be no shortage of people shoulding all over you. You should go to that networking event that you know deep down that you're going to go to it. It's the wrong time of day. You're shoehorning it into your day. You're going to go exhausted. You're probably not going to get the connections that you want. And it's actually taking time away from your family, or from training, or from friends, or from your dogs, or from something that you would actually prefer to do, which is kind of the point of having a business in the first place, is that you also get to live the life that you want to. Or people will be shoulding all over you with your marketing. You should go on radio. You should go in the newspaper. You should post 5 times a day on social media. You should be all over LinkedIn. You need to look at where your clients live, and if that aligns with your goals, and if you have the time to do it, or you can outsource it in a way, in a voice and so on, that you want to do it. If it aligns with your goals, if it aligns with your big picture vision, great. If you're just creating more and more noise and nonsense and running around in a million different directions, do you really need to do that? And so this is my thing with AI. I find myself where I can get so many projects up to 70%, or I can get projects to 100%, and then I think, do I actually need this? Do I need this much data to wade through? Do I need this level of syncopant, commentary on how the chapters of my book should be organized? All of these things, are they a nice to have, or are they actually moving me forwards up the mountain? Or am I just running around finishing going, oh, I got so much done, but none of it's actually meaningful? And then ultimately, are we actually actualizing our potential in doing these things? So when it comes to creating and to automating every single thing with AI, I am going to firmly push back against that. Because I know that I want genuine human connection. I want the, support systems around me to help me thrive. If I buy a product online and I immediately get bombarded with 10 emails, I don't care if that is the best product in the world. I'm unsubscribing, because the mental noise is something that we all need to be so conscious of. And so when I was sitting in this course, I pulled myself right back out of it. I came up with a strategy for how I can use it, which basically was, taking the transcripts, taking the learnings, prioritizing them in order of when I want to look at them, putting them in their little rocks in my calendar. So, okay, this is not a this quarterly thing. Maybe it will be a next quarterly thing. Maybe I get to next quarter and I think, no, we have a bigger priority, but not having it as a right now essential, because if everything is essential and urgent, then we never get to the actual truly important stuff that's going to drive us forwards. And so if you feel like you're running around a million directions and everything's urgent and important and not important, or you feel like everything's really needs to be done right now, or you feel like you're slipping behind in this AI world, firstly, I would tell you we're currently at the bottom of the J shape of productivity when it comes to AI. And I have somebody on the podcast later this week, and I'm really keen to explore this with him, because yes, it is a majorly effective productivity tool in the right hands, but it has to align with our human capacity. It has to align with what our actual vision is. And so at the moment, this is the same as when electricity was launched. It's the same as when computers were launched. Do you know when electricity was launched, they put all these electricity machines, run machines, in the middle of these floors that traditionally were built for steam engines, and they just sat there because people didn't really know how they fit into the workflow. They didn't know how they fit into the big picture vision. The same with computers. There was commentary made about computers because every office was given a computer, but nobody was given the how-to around how to redesign their work or how this was going to actually make their work easier. And so my argument in a lot of teams is we use AI in our business to improve things like note-taking and treatment planning and letter writing and so on. It still needs that human face to check it. And that is an amazing improvement. As I mentioned, I use it for dashboarding and lots of different things and for idea generation. But if we just load every single tool onto people without exploring with them how they're going to thrive, how it's going to redesign their work, and what the ultimate vision is and how this links into it, you get people with no focus, with no momentum in the right direction, and who 100% cannot actualize their potential in the workforce. And so I invite you to think, next time you're getting frazzled or overwhelmed or you feel behind, are you actually solving a problem that really needs to be solved? Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow for more from Endures.